Dear students, welcome back to Reflection of Light. Today in this lesson we are going to move ahead with the topic spherical mirrors. So spherical mirrors, let us try to learn this. Okay, you might have visited sometimes in the fair and all, there are laughing chambers, and in these laughing chambers there are different kinds of mirrors. So when you go and see in these mirrors, this type of mirrors, you'll find yourself, the image of yours is distorted and you feel like laughing by looking at it. Do you know why does this happen? Why in these type of mirrors your image looks distorted? It is because these mirrors are different from the mirrors which are there in your homes. That is, in every day you see yourself in the plane mirror, and we have already learned about a plane mirror, that in the case of plane mirror the image which is formed is of the same size, okay, and it is erect, it is from the same distance, and that is why you find that you, when you are watching yourself, observing yourself in the plane mirror, you see exactly you in that. Whereas in these type of mirrors you will find that there are some funny faces you can see. Sometimes it is very large, sometimes you become very thin, sometimes you look like very stout and all, right? So it's because these mirrors are not plain, instead they are curved, okay, they are curved in shape, and that is why these images are formed, okay, these images are all distorted, okay. So let us try to understand this, why the image formation in these is distorted, or how are these spherical mirrors. Fine. So these spherical mirrors, if you know, they are mostly used in the rear view of the rear view mirror of the cars and all, or even your scooters and all the different vehicles have these rear view mirrors, because they have to see from behind, from far, which vehicle is coming, and for that these mirrors are also curved mirrors, okay. So let us try to understand more about these mirrors by doing a small activity. So for this we require a small rubber ball, and you need to cut this ball into two equal halves. So you'll find that these two equal halves has two parts, okay, and these two parts has two different surfaces. One you can see is like this, and the other is above like this, okay. One is inside and one is outside. So there are two different types of surfaces for each of them, okay. Now it is because these surfaces are spherical in shape. And how are the mirrors designed? These are designed like, you can see that ball which is cut there. You can see on the right hand side there is a glass, okay, which is a hollow glass, okay, which has inner surface and even outer surface. It has inner surface and outer surface. So a spherical mirror is a part of a hollow glass sphere. So that means when a mirror is prepared, a spherical mirror is prepared, there is actually a glass sphere like the ball. You can consider that sphere like that of a ball we just cut now, that rubber ball. It is the same like that of a ball, but it is spherical and it is hollow inside, okay. It is not spherical, of course it is spherical only, but it is hollow inside, and it is made up of glass, not of the rubber. Fine. Now rubber ball was just an example to show you how the surfaces of the spherical mirrors look like, okay. So remember, dear students, these spherical mirrors are part of hollow glass sphere, okay, which are cut and made into mirrors. A hollow glass sphere is cut into different parts, and each of these parts will look like a hollow mirror. How it becomes a mirror? First you need to coat, like how the plane mirror is made. The same way even spherical mirrors, once they are cut out of that sphere, the inner or the outer surface, you can see on the left hand side, the inner surface is coated with the shiny surface. That shiny surface, shiny material may be either silver or aluminum, as I have already described to you in the first video. Okay, so shiny surface is given a coating either on the inside of that hollow glass or maybe outside. You can see on the right side it is on the outside. So and then it is again coated with the red paint, or it is also called as a lead oxide, so as to protect this shiny coating. And like that the spherical mirrors are made. So just like that of a plain mirror, how coating is done, here also same way coating is done. Only difference is that the plain mirror is plain and flat, whereas these are spherical in shape, or it is a part of the sphere. It is the, again I am repeating, it is the part of the sphere, not the whole sphere. It is the part of the sphere, like how we have tried to cut the rubber ball and we got two parts of that rubber ball. The same way of a glass hollow sphere, many different parts can be made, and each of them can be made into a spherical mirror, either by coating it from inside or maybe from outside. So this way there are two different, because two different parts are covered, either it is inner or outer surface, then we can have two different types of spherical mirrors. Okay, and due to this, reflection can be either from the inside of the mirror, you can see that is on the right hand side, inside of the mirror there is a reflection, and on the left hand side outside there is a reflection. So therefore there are two different types of spherical mirrors. One is called as a concave mirror and the other is called as a convex mirror. Even I have to show you here, one is a concave mirror. This is a concave mirror wherein you can see the image very large, whereas this is a convex mirror wherein you can see the image very small. So this is my finger, you can or any other thing I will take here. Now this is a bottle which is seen very small in this, whereas the same bottle if you see in this will appear large. Okay, so this is a concave mirror wherein inner surface is coated. You can see it is little bend inwards. Okay, it is little bend inwards, you can see here, whereas this is outside, it is like this. Okay, fine. So depending upon which part of it is coated with the color, and that is the shiny surface, either inside or outside. But if it is inside, and it is called as a concave mirror, and if it is on the outside, it is called as the convex mirror. So according to the definition of a concave mirror, you can see if the inner surface of the spherical mirror, so I have another example for you. This is your spoon. The part which you take something is inner surface. So this part is called as the concave surface, and whereas this part, the outer part, okay, outer part is called as the convex surface. So if the outer surface of the spherical mirror is the reflecting surface, when this is the mirror, this side is the mirror, then it will be called as a convex, and when this side is the mirror, it will be called as concave. I hope so you have understood. So this is concave and this is convex. Fine. So this is regarding the concave and the convex mirror. Both of them are called as spherical mirror. Now we need to know more about the terms related to these spherical mirrors. So now let us see a small video based on this terms related to the spherical mirrors.
Now you have learned about what is a concave mirror, what is a convex mirror. We need to know about what are the different terms related to these spherical mirrors. Why we have to deal with it? Because we have to learn about the ray diagram, how these rays are passing through the mirror, whether they are reflected in front or behind the mirror. We have to know certain terms. Okay, so let us begin with the terms related to the spherical mirrors. Now you know that a mirror is spherical in shape, okay, and mirror is actually mirror wherein the inner surface is reflecting. It is going inside like this, okay, curve like this. So inner surface is spherical, reflecting surface, whereas in the case of a convex mirror it is outer surfaces reflecting. Even you can see how is the image formed in the spherical convex mirror is small in size, whereas the same thing if we take in concave mirror, you will find my finger very large enough. That is why you can understand which is a concave mirror and which is a convex mirror. Fine. Now let us learn about the different terms related to the spherical mirrors, both concave as well as convex. Now here I have drawn a sphere, okay, and you can see that some part of it I have drawn like this rays. Now this indicates that this is non-reflecting surface and this is the reflecting surface. Actually this is a concave mirror which I have drawn here. Now what are the terms related? Now here you can see there is a point P. Okay. Now what is this P? P is called as the pole of the mirror. Now what is the pole of the mirror? Pole is nothing but the center of the mirror surface. Center. Okay. Pole is nothing but the center of the mirror surface of which this mirror only, not of the sphere. Pole is the center of the mirror. So P over here represents the pole of the mirror. So this is one of the term related. So we have now learned one term called as pole, which is represented by the letter P. Now let us go to the next term, that is called as the center of curvature. Center of curvature, which is designated by the letter C. Now what is the center of curvature? Center of curvature is nothing but it is the center of the sphere. This is called as the sphere. It is the center of the sphere of which this mirror is a part. Okay, so mirror is a part of this whole sphere. So center of curvature is the center of this sphere and not the center of the mirror. Center of the mirror we have just now learned, it is the pole. Okay, so center of curvature is the center of whole sphere. Fine. So it is not seen on the mirror or you cannot understand which is the center. But we can find out later on when you will learn how to find out the center of curvature, understand how we can find out. Fine. So this is called as the C, which center of curvature, which is the center of the whole sphere. So we have learned now second thing, that is center of curvature, which is also designated by the letter capital C. Fine. Now let us go to the next part of the lesson, that is radius of curvature. So radius, as you know, radius is nothing but it is the line joining the center of the circle to any point of the circle is called as the radius of circle. So same way here, what will be the radius? Radius is nothing but the line which is joining the center of the circle to the pole of the sphere. Sorry, not circle, the sphere. Center of the sphere to the pole of the spherical mirror. That is called as the radius of curvature. So one radius we have drawn here, that is CP. But how many radii can be there? Of course, wherever is the part, whichever part is there, that many radii will be there for the mirror. Okay, so here we can draw another radius also like this. So you can have so many radii like that, infinite number of radii for the mirror. So this is called as R or radius of curvature, and it is the line passing through the center to the pole of the mirror is called as the radius. So this is also radius. So we can call CP as the radius of curvature here. Radius of curvature is capital R. So here in this case CP represents the radius of curvature. Here even one more we can draw. Let's say it is S. So CS also is another radius of curvature. So we have learned now three terms. One is pole, center of curvature, radius of curvature. Now the fourth thing is the principal axis. Now what is this axis? Axis is nothing but a straight line. So this line which you can see, which I am showing over here, a straight line passing from the pole through the center. It is a straight line passing from the pole through the center is called as the principal axis. Now over here, which is the principal axis? Line PM represents the principal axis. So next part what we have learned is now principal axis. So here line PM represents principal axis. Fine. Now the next part of the lesson is the principal focus. Now what is principal focus is very important, because when we will be doing experiment on finding about the focal point of the mirror, we need to know what is a principal focus. Now imagine, the rays, light rays are from everywhere they are coming. Suppose now incident rays which are falling on the mirror like this. Okay, these are the incident rays which are passing parallel to the principal axis. Now this is your principal axis, and these are the rays, light rays which are falling on the mirror. Okay, so all these incident rays, when it falls on the mirror, finally after falling on the mirror, since mirror is a reflecting surface, it will reflect all these rays, and depending upon the type of a mirror, spherical mirror, whether it is concave or convex, accordingly the focus will be decided. Now suppose if it is a convex, this mirror, I have already told you what is a convex mirror. Convex is a converging type of mirror. That means whenever the incident rays are falling on the mirror, the reflected rays will be reflected in front of the mirror in such a way that they will be meeting at one point like this. Okay, they will be meeting at one point after reflection, and that point is actually called as so they will be meeting at one point like this after the reflection from the mirror surface. They will be meeting at a point, and that point is called as the principal focus, which is represented by the letter F. Okay, so principal focus is the point which after reflection from the mirror will be meeting at a point. That point is called as the principal focus. Now for converging lens, that is the concave mirror, concave mirror, the principal focus will be in front of the mirror. Okay, whereas in the case of convex mirror, wherein this surface is reflecting, you will find that they are diverging. When these incident rays are falling on the mirror in this manner, they instead of going this way, they will be getting diverged this after the reflection, and they will be meeting at a point inside like this, inside or behind, what we call it as behind the mirror. They will be meeting at a point behind the mirror, and this will be the focal point of the convex mirror. Since it is diverging, you cannot get an image in front. You will get the image behind the mirror. How you get the image in the plane mirror? Same way you are getting in the case of convex mirror also behind the mirror. So this is the focal point of the convex mirror, whereas the concave mirror, it will be in front of the mirror since it converges the light at a point in front. Fine. So this is called as the principal focus, which is represented by the letter F, capital F. Principal focus, capital F. Okay, now over here PF represents, F is the principal focus. The last term related to the spherical mirror is the focal length. It is very simple. Focal length means which length? Now so many lengths we have learned. One is radius, one is principal axis. Now what is that focal length? Focal length is a line passing from the pole till the focus is called as the focal length. And when we will be doing experiment, we need
need to find out what is meant by a focal, what will be the focal length of a particular given mirror. So you need to know now what is focal length. Focal length is the line passing from pole to the focus, principal focus. So here PF represents the focal length. Length means the distance from P to F is called as the focal length. So this is the last term related to the is represented by the letter small f. Okay. Now once we get the focal length, we can find out from focal length what is the center of curvature, because focal length is half of the radius of curvature. So when you find the focal length, you can easily get the radius of curvature, because it is half of the radius curvature. That means radius of curvature is double the focal length. Suppose focal length is 10 cm, radius of curvature will be 20 cm. And whenever you get radius of curvature, that point 20 cm will be called as the center of curvature. So this is regarding the terms related to spherical mirror. In the next part, we will learn about ray diagrams, how we can draw the ray diagram. Fine. So thank you dear students, and I thank even Miss Darshana because she has made my video. Thank you.